What's up, everyone? It's your boy Zelmay, and I'm with.
Classic Ruby, y'all. What's up? What's good? What's happening? What's popping this lovely Thursday? We apologize for the delays. I was having issues with my laptop. We were having issues with this new feature. We are trying. We listened to y'all, okay? We heard y'all say, why aren't you highlighting my comment? My comment was the greatest ever. And so we're trying to give that to you, but we're a little glitchy, but it's okay. We will have it down for next time. Promise. Promise. How you doing today, Zel?
I'm blessed, highly favored. Looking forward because we got some amazing stories. We have some amazing stories from.
We got some good updates too. I promised y'all an update with the premiere the other day. You're getting one. You guys are getting an update as well. After our discussion topic on Tuesday, you guys are getting an update about that. I mean, I'm really excited. We got some hilarious stuff. We got some serious stuff. I mean, we are all over the place this week. It is going to be a great show.
It is. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get started with our first story. Of course, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be interested in this one because it's an old friend, an old guy who we know who has been caught in some trouble. So let's go listen to this story.
Bless your heart.
This is a bless your heart moment. I'm about to take you on a journey to the worst place for black people on the internet. Y'all don't know, if y'all can't tell, you can see the TSR, meaning the shade room. I am taking you down a path that you might not can go back from, because once you're here, it's hard to get out. I've broken out many times. I know the key, I got the lock. I know how to break out from this hellhole. So I can go in, but be careful. You do. You get entitled by seeing Good Burger coming back. Oh my God, I love Good Burger. But it's really a place of hell. It entices you like the devil. And what we're here to talk about today, because this is a serious subject, as I put my headphones on, and remind you to like and subscribe. Mama, we on everything. Is Derrick Jaxn's estranged wife. He spoke about something recently that we must cover. So we're here to cover it. Let's do our work. Let's do our job over on our news. Oh, what a sound it is.
I became a shell of myself. I didn't know who I was. I actually have a couple posts on my page where it's like, I have a post that says, I knew her body better than I knew my own.
Stop. Let that sit there.
Yo, y'all ever notice when these dudes be listening to like these stories of women, they just be so extra. I knew her body better than her. Oh my God. And the Jesus round, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do it. Hey, oh my God. Oh, she's spinning. Jesus cross. Oh, I like it's so extra.
You said you knew another woman's body better than you knew your own.
Listen, this is actually a nice point. I'm not trying to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm making fun of his reaction because it's like a constant reaction. Even my friends do it, like when we do football. One of my best friends used to run down the field and say, Bobby. But I'm just making fun of his reaction. By the way, this is a serious that we're going to get serious with.
Yes, several women. I knew several other women's bodies better than I knew my own. And I spent a lot of time, like I went in such a deep hole where I was like studying these women. I would go to their profiles and I would study their pages and like what they wear. I knew when they had met up. So
listen. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Listen, you should never deal with it. We talked about this on Tuesday show. Go back to Tuesday show and discussion. We gonna break it down. It's gonna be on there just live, just the discussion part that have every Tuesday. I don't know what they were gonna do. It probably Friday. We probably put out, but which is tomorrow for y'all. That person right there, you should never have to feel like that. If you're in a relationship and they make you feel like you have to be somebody else, you're not in a relationship. you're in a convenience ship. You're in what I call a convenience ship, where you're convenient for me to be around, but I want something else. You gonna keep trying to be something else, but you're you, and I don't like you. So you're trying, not gonna work. That's just the truth. I'm a man. I'm telling you this secret. Once you in that situation, you in that situation.
So I watched their videos of them having sex. So I would try to imitate that and recreate that in our relationships so that he could choose me and want me. And that is a low point to be. And I'm tearing up a little bit because I hate that I even got to a point where that was a thing. But that
it is, like I said, that's a terrible mindset. You see one of the comments right here. I found myself comparing myself to others. Internet, social media culture. Even before then, you would do it, but now it's extreme, right? You'll go see all these beautiful women with all kind of makeup, seeing their highlights of their life, and you're like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that. I'm going to be that. But you don't know, somebody's also looking at you, jealous of you in the same way. Because again, the internet, how many people show their lowlights? How many people share stories of them failing? It's rare. I have failed thousands of times. Listen, if you ask Ruby, I will try anything, fail at it, move on to something else. That's just me. Listen, don't work, it don't work. We just found out what's for me. I'm going to figure it out. That's how life is. That's how I live my life. So I'm never comparing myself to others. If I fail, I fail. And by the way, just because I failed on me, I'm going to stop trying. It's just it. Comparing yourself to another woman for your husband is a even more extreme example of being scared to fail and trying to be someone else you're not. That relationship cannot stand because he's going to continue to cheat because, again, despite how much you want to be somewhere else, that's my point of just saying what I said. No matter how much you try to be someone else, you can never be them. You only can be the best you. You can copy, you can paste, you can just copy them to a T, mannerism, walks, voice, pitch, everything. You're your own unique person. Surgery and none of that can save it.
That it was just that. And so I knew several other women's bodies better than I knew my own. I completely lost myself. I became a shell of myself. I tried to imitate their hair, their actions, even sexual things that I had seen him doing with them. I tried to recreate that.
You got tapes. Yo, this dude's sick. Yo, Derrick Jaxn, how his wife sending his tapes? Yo, this y'all used to follow. I told y'all dude was scam. Ruby, no, I don't know half these people. I knew him because some girls were telling me about him. I looked at him, I'm like, oh, you're a scam artist. But this dude's sick.
That in our life, when we were
stop looking up the man. That's all.
We're engaged, and none of it amounted to anything.
What did that do to you?
I became a shell of myself. I didn't know who I was. I actually have a couple posts on my page where
I start over, but yeah, listen. A lot of people just giving advice. Really, human beings. They're trying to scam you. They're trying to grift you. I'm not here to give you. I'm here to give you the news. I don't care how you take it. It ain't my job. My job is to tell you what's happening in the world. Telling you this dude's a fraud up here. You see his name, Derrick Jaxn. He's a fraud. This poor woman ended up becoming everybody else, which I don't even like at times. Now I'm worried that I don't even know if this is like some gimmick to sell a book now, because again, once you become a chameleon, you become a chameleon. Once you can play the game in every which way because you're trying to copy somebody and you want success. And I'm not even saying she's doing that, by the way. I have no clue about her. Like I said, this is my second time in my life ever seeing this woman. But I just know how once you copy and imitate other people because you want to be them, it tends not to just stop in the relationship. It tends to just carry on to everything you do in your life. So I'm praying for her. He's a piece of trash. I'm just updating you on the story of her latest interview. Yeah. Ruby, let me know your thoughts.
Well, and I said it in the chat right now, and anyone who used to follow me and Shar, especially on the radio station, because I'm pretty sure where we covered it specifically, I think we did like an entire, well, at least I did. I remember I intentionally did an entire Denia Jaxn theme right when all of this was all breaking news. And so unlike everyone else, I dug deep into Denia's account. I actually still follow her. I dug deep into her account. I went back like 5 years on her account. And I was posting pictures, like snapshots of various things she said. And so I actually posted this and spoke about it on a radio show, a year or two ago, whenever all of this was breaking news, where she said, I knew her body better than I knew myself. And actually, if you look at the images and stuff, she used to wear a lot of men's. Like she went through a period of time where she was literally, I would have thought she was like a lesbian, right? Like a more butch lesbian, because of the way she was dressing in like pure man's clothes, like she was a 1940s dude. That was kind of how she was always dressing. But when you put it together with every time they broke up, all of a sudden she looked illuminated, beautiful. She was wearing dresses and da. And then she'd get back together with him and then back to looking depressed and whatever, and wearing the man's clothes and whatever. And I think it all connects, right, to this. He's been cheating on her their entire relationship. They've been together for decades, right? Like they've been together since they were in college, and she has like 6 kids for this man, right? Like it's not like, oh, they just started dating or whatever. She's been committed to this man since like the end of high school. I think it's like the last year of high school or something, right? So I think that, her cope was, well, I can never measure up to these women, so I'm going to make myself as opposite of feminine as possible. That way I'm not trying to compete. And I think that's what she was doing to herself. And I kind of get it, because you have like 6, 7 kids for one man. What else are you going to do? And then you exposing him is basically bringing down his ability to pay your bills and support your kids. So what do you do? So I don't know. But at the same time, is she a victim? No, she's a participant. And I want to make it really clear that that's where I stand with Denia. She's a participant. Okay. She was very well aware of this man cheating on her for decades, and she participated. Okay. So I don't know. That's Derrick Jaxn is trash. Don't get me wrong, but she's a participant. That's what it is.
I did miss the battle bunny. So she had the Bible and the battle bunny ready to go.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, trust me. That bonnet was fierce. Listen, Denia was doing some weird stuff at the very beginning. Boy, that girl was well out of her mind. Like, I'm glad she's pulled herself together and pulled herself out of that rut of insanity. But like, she would just spew Bible verses at people, and so like she didn't even respond cogently to things that people were saying. She was yeah. I'm glad as a participant she decided to finally stop participating, and allow herself the opportunity now to find love and whatever. But God, good golly, Denia, you took a little long getting there. That's all I'm saying. Took a little long.
By the way, shout out to my guy. Soon as she said those words, he started rubbing his head. I was like, oh my God, you so extra. Hold up, say it again. Speaking of say it again, we got an update, Ruby. Tell us a little bit about it.
We definitely do. Okay, y'all. And I told you, I come through, I deliver. I made sure that you guys got the premiere of the Griefbook story in full with Corey Richens and her scamming, skeezy self. Okay. All of y'all predicted that her motive was financial. And at the time, we just didn't have the information. But guess what? Since then, they've gone to court, and I've got the details for y'all. Let's take a look. Now, y'all, I have an update for y'all. Okay. For those of you who missed it, we just did a premiere of the full details of Corey Richens. Okay. If you missed it, this is Corey Richens. Now, why is this nondescript mother of 3? Well, why is she newsworthy? If you missed it, the reason why we have been talking about Corey Richens this woman right here is because after losing her husband suddenly just last year, she managed to make a miraculous recovery. Her and her kids did. So miraculous and quick, in fact, that they were able to write a book about grief and how to deal with it. And then she got arrested. This is all like within 1 year. Now, what did she get arrested for? Well, obviously it was for the murder of her husband, Derrick Richens, right? And so Corey Richens, 34 years old, has now been charged with aggravated murder and the death of her husband, Derrick Richens, 39. We have some details, shocking details that have come up since, now they've been in court. They have to present documents, right? Obviously, the prosecution's going to have to present their case. And so as they're presenting their case, we get more pertinent details and information. And wow, I'm telling you, some of this information is a doozy.
Been more than a year since the death of Derrick Richens. Now the family of the father of 3 is speaking out, saying they've long been suspicious of his wife, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Does Eric's family believe Corey killed him?
Mm-hmm.
I think the family has always felt that Corey was somehow involved in his death.
The 33-year-old real estate agent turned children's book author has been charged with his murder. Police alleging she poisoned her 39-year-old husband last March with a massive dose of fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
And according to court documents, Eric's family told investigators it may not have been the first time she'd poisoned him.
He felt like Corey was trying to kill him, and that if he did die, that she should be investigated for that.
And y'all, we are going to be taking a look at some of these court documents, right? So they're not just saying this like, because of his feelings, although honestly, this man's feelings were right on the money here. But yeah, no, they have some like this airtight case against her at this point. While she was running around thinking she had gotten away with literal murder, writing children's books and presenting herself as a bereaved widow and mother. Yeah, no, they were just dotting their I's, crossing their T's, because they are going to throw this woman under the jail. And I'm telling you, hallelujah, I am super excited about this. All right, let's keep watching.
Investigators say Derrick had recently changed his will and life insurance from his wife to his sister and was looking into a divorce. 2 of Derrick's friends told detectives he was worried that Corey would kill him for the money.
We talked about
and wanted
that.
to ensure his kids were taken care of financially.
It completely took us all by shock.
As Richens was writing this children's book about grief, even promoting it on local TV, investigators were looking into the couple's troubled past.
Yep.
This whole entire place will sleep up to 60 people.
The listing agent telling NBC News Corey is currently selling this house,
Wow.
purchased just a week after her husband's death. Detectives say the couple had argued about the property, which Corey wanted to flip. The agent says this rendering shows plans for a $4 to $6 million renovation of the 10-acre estate. But police say Derrick told his family he no longer wanted to buy the house because it would lose a significant amount of money. The day after Derrick was found dead, investigators say Corey reached a deal on the home. And that same day, threw a party at her house where she was drinking and celebrating with friends.
The family felt right at the outset that this had to be a suspicious death.
Of course.
Now with Corey behind bars, awaiting her next court hearing.
Like, think about that, right? Most people, when, say, a loved one, a spouse, a mom, whoever it is, right, passes away, and it's like a week later, they're not sitting there going, well, you know what? My beloved just died. I know what I should do. I should make massive life changes. And on top of that, I should definitely go out of my way to do the one thing I know they didn't want me to do. In fact, most people go the opposite way, right? The fact that you sitting there throwing parties and celebrating like a week after your husband literally died. Imagine those kids live in that house, though. So they're listening to mom drinking and laughing like, yo, it's good times, bruh. It's good times. You're supposed to be having like morning sessions every day. And you know, or what they call awake, right? And that's what you're supposed to be doing, but not her. She's drinking and celebrating, throwing parties. A week after the man died. And you celebrating the fact that you purchased something this man literally said, don't want to purchase it.
The Richens family is hopeful justice will finally bring an end to Eric's tragic story.
Aaron, investigators have also talked about text messages sent by Corey Richens on the night of her husband's death. Have you learned more about that?
Yeah, Savannah, according to the arrest warrant, the night of the alleged murder, Corey was texting one of her best friends. The friend later telling police she couldn't remember what they'd been messaging about. When police asked the friend to see the texts, they'd mysteriously gone missing.
Shocking.
Corey Richens has not entered a plea, but is expected in court next week. Her attorney declined to comment on the case. Savannah?
A lot of moving pieces there, Aaron.
Right? Mysterious. I like how they said mysteriously went missing. Like, we don't know how text messages disappear off a phone. It's called delete. Right. So let's first take a look here, right? Since they just mentioned the text messages, right? I really want to take a look at the text message proof, because here when I say, man, they dotted I's and crossed T's before they got to this point, I really meant it, right? Now you can see that during the interviews with the defendant, Corey Richens, she stated that at around 2100 hours, that would be 9 p.m. on March 3rd, 2022, she and Eric Richens were celebrating the defendant's closing on a house for her business. Now, the defendant stated that she made Eric a Moscow mule in the kitchen and brought it to their bedroom, where Eric consumed it while sitting in bed. The only people in the house were defendant, Eric, and their 3 minor children. Okay. Now, the defendant stated she went to bed and shortly after went to sleep with one of the children in the children's bedroom because the child was having a night terror. The defendant said she awoke around 3 a.m., pretty much, right? I don't know how you say, 3 hours? Yeah, it was 3 a.m., and came back to her and Eric Richens' bedroom. She said that she felt Eric Richens and he was cold to the touch. Defendant said she then called 911. This was at 3:22 a.m. on March 4th, 2022. Now check out this very important detail. So she told law enforcement that when she had left her room to go to her child's room, that she had left her phone plugged in next to her bed and did not take it to the child's room. However, between when the defendant said she went to the child's room and when she called 911, the status on her phone shows that it was locked and unlocked multiple times, and there was also movement recorded on the phone. In addition, tolls and phone billing data for the defendant's phone show that messages were sent and received during that time. Because somehow or another, people are just incapable of, deleting text messages off your phone, Corey Richens. That's going to help you with your husband when he's trying to prove that you cheated or not, because, hey, where are those messages? And, anyway, people have a hard time keeping track of when they were looking through your phone and they were looking for this message, that message, whatever. But guess what? Investigators are not going to have that issue. So they're going to cross-reference. And if it says, y'all were sending and receiving text messages, because while the phone company cannot and does not get the data of what you actually sent and received, what they do get is you did send and receive something, dummy. So yeah, no, they know you were using your phone, just like your phone records when you use it and when you don't. That's why, like when we were talking about the WhatsApp thing, people can look at it and say, no, you turned on my microphone, bruh. I know you turned on my microphone. I know it's been working. Okay? So yeah, no, sorry, Corey Richens. But they know you were really very much on your phone. And so they know who you were messaging as well. And everyone just, I have no idea. So now we know, hey, guess what? It's her friend. Her friend? That's going to be one of the people who's going to throw her behind bars. Because you know what? Listen, they're going to say, like, we know it was you and we're just going to get you for conspiracy, or you're going to tell us what was being said. The end. We don't know if you took screenshot. We don't know what you did, but we do know you know what was happening. You know what the discussion was. And so you're going to either tell us or we're throwing you under the jail with your friend. Now, I want you guys to listen to this detail, because this is some tragic terribleness. Okay. On March 6th, this is really just 2 days after Eric Richins was found and pronounced dead, right? Cool. Well, the defendant, Corey Richins, yeah, so y'all remember this trifling chick, right? Corey Richins, yeah? So just 2 days later, and some of y'all might have seen the writing already on the wall, literally, but I'm going to read it to you while you look at trifling chick here. Just 2 days later, March 6th, the defendant, Corey Richins, arranged for a locksmith to drill Eric Richins' safe, which contained between $125,000 and $165,000 in cash. When Eric Richins' sister suggested that the defendant did not have the authority to open Eric Richins' safe because there was a trustee who was not his wife but his sister, the defendant, Corey Richins, became enraged and punched Eric Richins' sister in the face and neck. 2 days after she killed this poor woman's brother. Not just over the common sense of, sorry, you can't drill into this. You don't have the legal right to do so. Now you violently beating the sister. Now, the sheriff's deputies did respond, okay, and they called Eric Richins' estate planning lawyer from the scene. That right there is the moment where the defendant, Corey Richins, learned for the very first time of the existence of the Eric Richins Living Trust. So, y'all, everyone who said, hey, listen, she probably thought she was in it for the insurance money. She was 1,000% in it for the insurance money. She just didn't know that she was removed. It was that moment in time on March 6th after assaulting his sister that she discovered this information. Now, you might wonder to yourself, okay, but she didn't know about this living estate and this and that and whatever. But I mean, come on. Eric was telling his family from time, really, in essence, that she was trying to take his life. Well, unknown to Eric Richins, between 2015 and 2017, the defendant had purchased at least 4 life insurance policies on Eric Richins' life, with aggregate death benefits of $1.9 million, right? $1,947,000. These policies had been purchased prior to the date that Eric Richins formed the trust. Eric Richins did not disclose these to his estate planning attorney in October 2020 because he didn't know about them, obviously. But what happened in October 2020? Because remember, I was like, dude, if you think this woman's trying to kill you, what are you doing? Right? Well, it's not that he didn't do nothing. Okay. And we do know 100% now we have confirmation. The reason why he stayed, well, it was 3 little reasons. His children. That was why he was staying. But we do know that he was trying, at the very least, to protect his children's future should anything go wrong. And that's what we know. In October 2020, Eric Richins consulted both a divorce lawyer and an estate planning lawyer. Now, this is unknown to Corey Richins, of course. Eric Richins proceeded to change his will, formed the Eric Richins Living Trust, UAD, November 3rd of 2020. And placed his estate under the control of his sister, Katie Richins Benson, for the primary benefit of his 3 minor children. Eric Richins transferred his partnership interest in his business to his trust and designated the trust as the beneficiary of his $500,000 life insurance policy instead of the defendant, right? So the defendant thought she would be getting $1.947 million, okay? She thought she'd basically getting just under $2 million from what she accrued on top of his $500,000, on top of his business interests, right? On top of the rest of his estate. So she really thought she was going to make a killing here. So she was gunning for him. He realized it. He said, listen, he talked to the divorce lawyer. He realized that, you know what, he might have some issues if he did try to go to divorce her as far as what his priorities were. So he did this instead, at the very least. Now, what other shady things did she do? Well, let's look at January 1st, 2022, just a few months before Eric Richins lost his life. Eric Richins and his business partner both had life insurance policies with the other as beneficiary. This is common when 2 people go into business with each other. The defendant, on January 1st, 2022, had surreptitiously and without authorization changed the beneficiary for Eric Richens' $2 million life insurance policy to herself. This came to the attention of New York Life, and Eric Richens and the business partner was restored as the beneficiary. In late January 2022, the defendant caused an application to be filed for a new $100,000 life insurance policy on Eric Richens' life. This policy issued on February 4th of 2022, 1 month prior to Eric Richens' death. 1 week later, on February 11th or 12th of 2022, the defendant obtained illicit fentanyl from an acquaintance, CL, right? We talked about that in the previous story. If you would like that, I will link the pop-up in the description box down below, and I'll also do the pop-up and little eye thing that pops up at the top of the screen. Yeah, I'll do that. Now, a couple other details that are important for us to take a look at here. On just February 14th of last year, so this is all within the month before he died, right? Just a couple weeks. Valentine's Day. Okay, we talked about this in the last story, but I want to go into a couple extra details that are just going to make you furious. They made me furious. Okay, the defendant, Corey Richens, prepared a sandwich for Eric Richens and placed it on the seat of his truck with a love note. Shortly after consuming the sandwich, Eric Richens broke out in hives and had difficulty breathing. Eric found his son's EpiPen and administered it to himself and slept. Yeah, because your wife would 100% know what you're allergic to, right? Another detail we really need to talk about is that the defendant, Corey Richens' outstanding state and federal tax liability was $189,840. Also, the defendant owed a hard money lender at least $1,847,760. And 3, the defendant, Corey Richens, also owed her husband, Eric Richens, at least $514,346. Now remember, it's important to note they were absolutely already on their way to divorce. Absolutely already on their way, Corey Richens. That's why she felt she had to act fast. It's just, she didn't realize that this is an intelligent man, okay? He already owned, remember, right? Because he has a business partner. He owned a very successful masonry firm that was valued at least $4 million at the time of his death, right? This is not the kind of man who, just does things and just feels things and just waits. No, man, he acts decisively. He moves. So he protected his assets long before he knew that she could be able to see that he could see she's a problem. Let's put it that way, right? But if you take a look at it, right, they were constantly arguing about finances. We already talked about all these other financial motives, but take a look at this, right? This is September 2020. This is why he started moving the way he did. September 2020, they revealed Richens discovered that Corey had obtained and spent $250,000 home equity line of credit on their Kama's home, withdrawn at least $100,000 from his bank accounts, and spent in excess of $30,000 on his credit cards. Right? So that was the moment he realized, nope, this woman's a problem. This woman's a problem. By the very next month, he was talking about divorce and, well, not to her, but, assessing his options. And within a month, he already had his children's finances and futures fully secured. Oh, and in case I forgot to mention it, I did. One little thing. There's also the whole stolen tax payments. The defendant had also defended Corey Richens. Let's not forget her name. Had also been appropriating distributions made from Eric Richens' business for the purpose of making federal and state quarterly tax payments and not paying the taxes. The stolen tax payments totaled at least $134,346. Eric Richens confronted the defendant. She agreed to pay him over and over. So unfortunately, Eric Richens decided he wanted out too late. These children do look really young. They were probably babies in 2020. This is a cold, calculating, likely sociopathic woman. Definitely very narcissistic. definitely in the cluster B. If not, she's not antisocial personality disorder. I don't know what else would be. But I do know that she's definitely earned being thrown up under the jail. Okay, y'all? Let us all drop our opinions in the comments down below. R.I.P. Mr. Eric Richens. I will give you updates as we get them. Had to give you these financial motivations because a lot of people in the original story said, hey, listen, it's got to be the finances. It's got to be the moolah. And boy, y'all were right on the money. I'm sorry, y'all. I was wrong. Y'all were right. It was definitely about the money. And definitely he only stayed for the kids because he obviously knew that this treacherous, traitorous woman was gunning for his money for at least the last 3-4 years. He's known that, and she's been gunning for it since at least 2015. So OMG. What did you think, Zell, of this insane update?
Listen, she went for the money. She was plotting. They leave receipts. White women ain't good at this like game of head and mouse and stuff. I don't know what's that woman need to be thrown under the jail. She clearly multiple. I want her to get all the attempts. I want her to get even the murder attempts, attempted murder charges too. Just get her for every one of them. Just like attempted murder again, attempted murder 3 times, and then to finally get her for the murder. Because when she didn't get the money, decided to use it as like a book tour. That's a sick person.
Mm-hmm. I just want to honestly, I think the funniest comment of the night so far to me was Shara asking if she'd go ask for her money back. I mean, because I guess it's the thing. I mean, in her twisted mind, if they ain't gonna pay out the way it's supposed to pay out, like regardless of what she did wrong, right? Like I'm just wondering, would she want her money back? Who knows? I mean, wow, she's something else. The tax payments that she stole. There's not an area of this man's life that she didn't try to capitalize financially and ruin him and his business in the process. I mean, she even tried to steal the insurance coverage that was just to cover the business. Like everything. But we know for sure she did not know she was taken out of the will yet. We know that because she found out after she punched the sister in the face, right? That was the moment. So I don't know. I guess we're going to see, guys. There's still, like I said, this was only day 1 of court. Only day 1. There's going to be lots more updates. I will definitely give them to you because,
I see we're
love it.
I see we're going to have a theme going. So let's keep that theme going. Y'all going to notice a theme. Let me know in the comments if y'all notice the theme that we have coming. So let's get to it. We got another video. So I was having a conversation with my brother. Of course, he's a school psychologist, one of the best in the state. School psychologist president of the state of Mississippi multiple times, won multiple national awards for this thing. And we was having a conversation. It came up that all of a sudden we realized, and he said this to me, that when things happen to little boys, everybody tend not to care. They tend not to care. This is by a national award-winning school psychologist who sees it and says, although it has less effect on women, it has a broadly negative impact on the young boy that they assault, essentially. As you see in this report, at least 6 female teachers arrested with students over 2 days across the U.S. This is a graphic story. Again, if you don't want to listen to it, it might be disturbing but it's true. And the news is my job as the news is to report it. Fox 13 is going to help me. But throughout the video, as we speak on through the writing from the New York Post, shout out to them. As we speak through it, I want you to understand that I will show images of people that's not even on this list, including a man and the woman who got pregnant by a 13-year-old boy who got only 90 days in prison. Feeding to my brother's point. So let's listen to this. I don't want to put it big. But
Prosecutors say a second teen has come forward accusing a Franklin High School teacher of trying to have a sexual relationship with her. Pavar's
second victim. The second victim. Meaning this person has did it multiple times. It's not just this highlight. It's this too. The second time this same person, it's a
Porn Vivat is accused of starting 2 relationships with students. According to court documents, the 15-year-old talked to high school staff after his arrest, saying he hugged and kissed her multiple times. Investigators say she also showed staff thousands of texts from the teacher, some being explicit.
This, by the way, I think this is a male teacher right here. This is just why our schools is not safe. I'm gonna put the first one up where it tells you our kids are now learning about how to defend from gunshots with bulletproof walls, and now have to learn how to report that their teachers are touching them. This is epidemic. Throughout the rest of this, I showed you one just then. I'm gonna show you more as we go through these. It probably ain't even these teachers. Let me just go through this. At least 6 female teachers were arrested in a span of 2 days this week for having with students, including a Kentucky staffer who alleged had Tourette's with a pair of. Wait, what? I don't know. I think that's a misword. Tryst with a pair of 16-year-old boys. Ellen Shayla of Danville was arraigned in Garland County District Court on Thursday after the prosecutor said she had sex with teens on 2 separate occasions in July and August in the summer. Shell worked as a teacher aide at Woodlawn Elementary and was employed by Lancaster Elementary prior to that. The outlet reported that Boyle's school officials sent out a letter to parents alerting them of the arrest. Shell had been placed on administrative leave pending the resolution of the case. The bus was one of at least 6 recent cases of female teachers engaging in sexual misconduct with their teens charges in recent days, according to the report. Listen, it's even a black man doing this weird stuff. Look, I'm gonna show it right here. Look, listen, look at what it taking feet. We have a problem. Our kids are being attacked, and you're worried about some island of rich people that your kids will never see when your teachers are doing it. You're looking at everything else but what you need to look at. This is a common thing. Stop looking. Look around you. Listen, look at things that can affect your children. This is affecting your children. Joe Biden being weird, sniffy dude is not going to affect your child. This will affect your child. Here's some pictures of it. Arkansas educator Heather Harris, 32, was expected to turn herself in Friday for an alleged assault relationship with a teen student, which is now facing first-degree felony assault rap. Oklahoma teacher Emily Hancock, 26, was also arrested Thursday after local police were tipped off to her alleged allegation with a student. A former substitute with Wellston Public Schools, Hancock allegedly began communicating with the teen last October and eventually began sending the 15-year-old. Hey, just pearly things. She got it. That's how she gonna look in 5 years. Let's not pretend. Well, it's 31. How old is this one? How much is this one? Kristen Grant, 36. Oh, she got 10 years before she looked like this. All right, Kristen Garrett, 36-year-old English teacher at the Catholic High School, Catholics in the Des Moines, Iowa, was added to the tally Friday for allegedly with a teen student 5 times inside and outside of her school, according to a local report. Investigators said Gaff groomed the students over social media, and that surveillance camera caught them going to a classroom alone with a papered window. She has since been fired from the school and now answer felony counts of sexual. In Virginia, Aaliyah Caramond, 33, teacher at James Madison High School, was also named for allegedly over 7 months. A learning disability teacher in Fairfax since 2006. Caramond. That's Caramond. Like, some of these don't even look bad. Can't you get your own, by the way? But you know this kind of a trend, right? Finally, a Pennsylvania javelin coach allegedly has, with a 17-year-old boy she coached, according to prosecutor. Hannah Martin, 26, was arrested. By the way, this is not good. This is the best one we had so far. This is like, okay, you couldn't wait 2 years. Like, give it 2. You don't give it 1. But you wait 2 years. I'm just saying, if you want to go that far. Because, like I said, she's not even bad looking. But listen, maybe you risked up, but it's still bad. You got to control yourself. You could wait 2 more years if you risk up. That's still grooming, right? That's grooming. I don't support that. That's grooming. Maybe don't groom them. Maybe just wait. You wait it out. That's bad too. Watch your kid. Watch your 15-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Also, I put some on here. Just so y'all know how they look. If your teacher touched your kid, just pretty things right there. Just saying, I'm just putting them out here so y'all see. It's the worst looking one. I don't know how y'all did that. Them kids must have, they found the incels. Listen, send her for the incels. She can fix the incel problem right now. Listen, she can fix the incel problem right there. That one. Y'all need Jesus. Listen, again, protect your kids. Know what's going on in your school. Ask your kids every day. I'm not a parent, but ask your kids. Somebody touch you wrong. Somebody doing something to you. Somebody engaging in something. Don't be doing that. I know your friends and everybody might make fun of you. Make sure you do right. I want to know y'all thoughts in the comments because this is a trend. Y'all know trend. Y'all know this trend. But watch your kids. I beg of you. I implore you. Watch your children. We seen multiple. I'll probably put on one right now. Watch your kids. It's still happening. Like and subscribe. Keep getting notified because I will expose all of these. As my boy Quantos from Quantos, I hope I said his name right, from Disney, these snow bunny demons are out here. Including we got one brown. She down here somewhere. A lot of snow bunny demons. Then we got brown. Then Future just Pearly thing. She got desperate. But I'm joking, by the way. Don't sue me. Just I'm make a joke. I know she's sensitive. I know she's sensitive. This video taking too long. Like, subscribe. We out. So, Ruby. It's getting crazy out here.
Yes, it definitely is. I mean, with that being said, though, is it getting crazy out here or was it always crazy out here? And somehow or another, everyone keeps missing it because a certain demographic just never gets held responsible. I'm just saying, they like to say it's women, but it's not women. Okay, it's not. It's a particular demographic of women never get held responsible for anything. Okay, we've been watching this since the dawn of time. Okay, we've been watching them do this since the dawn of time and not be really held that accountable. And the fact of the matter is, if anything, people are even giving them props and daps and whatever and blah blah blah. Right, so that's why now you're seeing it coming out in mass because they're getting held accountable for the first time like ever. And even then that accountability is just going to be like it's not going to mean nothing.
Yeah, we had the first person, we had 90 days for getting pregnant with the 13-year-old. Oh, I showed y'all the 6, and I showed you the 2 dudes, and then I showed you like 4 more women. And by the way, 10 of those, the one with got the 13-year-old pregnant is a little older, but 10 of those are literally from the last 3 weeks.
But that's what I'm saying, right? They've been doing this. It's not even like they just did it. Well, no, they've been doing it for years. You go back to their student body. Their student body will be like, oh, yeah, no, actually, first she slept with my friend and I was so jealous. Now I'm in love with her and we dating and she's going to leave her husband to be with me. And these women really do, for the record, they leave their husbands to be with these children. And we know that again because of that blonde one from back in the days that we talked about with the 90-day teacher. And this is why children who are literally victims of assault can be held liable for child support for the outcome of the assault against the child, right? It's insane, but it's because these women, they're not held reliable. They're still seen as somehow they're innocent and fragile. So even if they're 40 and they're predating against a 12 or 13-year-old child, right? They often choose non-white children also, just for the record. So the sympathy still swings very heavily towards this demographic in general, right? Let's be real. No one cares about our kids. And so they do that. And then people go, yeah, but she was a woman. And I mean, sure, he was 12, 13, but he was a man. And he's had puberty for 45 seconds. He's probably stronger than her by now, right? That's what they do. That's what they do. This is why no one cares about little boys as victims to begin with, but they definitely don't care when the predator is a woman of this demographic. They just don't.
Oh yeah, black man that he getting a I looked it up a little bit. He getting a lot of time, so he getting out of here. But the rest of them, they probably ain't. They getting a slap on the wrist.
Again, it's not even like I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We see it happen all the time. This is what they do. This is how it is. No disrespect. Nobody cares. That's what it is. You know, I mean, here's the thing though. We could start caring, right? And when you start caring and you start pushing for change, you start pushing for people to pay attention. That's how people start paying attention. That's how these people start getting scooped up by the bucketfuls, right? And so now I would like to talk about another way we could start caring on a more global diaspora-ish way, because you know what? There was definitely some ebony excellence, okay? We had a victory as Black folk, but in Africa. And in a way, probably some of y'all had no idea we needed a victory in. So yeah, take a look at that.
And I might not get to the finish line with you, but I will continue to strive to carve out my own space before passing this baton on to a new generation of runners, confident in victory because success, it runs in my race.
Now, I wanted to cover this story not only because obviously I'm locked up, and I now come from a locked up sisterhood of family, but because what I do see and hear a lot in, say, forums, and even online to some extent in just regular spaces, are people saying that, like, again, we're in this post-racial society. There is no more stereotyping about things like hair. Your hair would not be something that people would discriminate over or ban you from doing certain types of things or hate you for or whatever. And so you hear a lot of discussion, let's say in the dreadlocks and locks forums, say in Reddit, right, about gatekeeping hair. Black people are trying to gatekeep hair and trying to make hair more than it is. It's just a hairstyle. And I mean, those of us with a slightly darker persuasion and I understand that under these lights, I literally am as white as the paper, but I am actually Black, I swear. Anyways, but those of us of a certain persuasion understand, especially those of us who have long hair of a certain persuasion understand, right, that our 4C hair and the things that it naturally does has always been something that has been used to other us, to stereotype against us and whatever. And I hear people often say things like, well, shoot, if you just go back to Africa, you're going to be fine. So I wanted to read this story. Now, this family's son was banned from school for 3 years because of his dreadlocks. Take a better look at the family while I tell you the story. Now, for years, Ali Nansolo grappled with whether to cut his son's dreadlocks or not. Although it is not a legal requirement in Malawi, an unwritten policy enforced across government schools meant his son was being denied admission because of his hair. Nansolo's could not pay for private education for his son Ishmael from his modest dressmaking income, and cutting his hair, an important symbol of the Rastafari religion, was inconceivable to him. Rastafari is a spiritual way of life. Keeping dreadlocks is like we are committing ourselves to a vow before the Most High Creator that we will serve him in our life without denying his laws or commandments, Nansolo told CNN. It's interesting because there are other religions, for example, Indian religions, where men don't cut their hair. And they, like, literally don't cut their hair. Their hair is, like Samson and whatever, right? Like, you never cut a man's hair, and you keep it protected. It's very similar to Locs and Rastafari. And yet, I've never seen, folks in that religion be told they have to cut their hair to just go to school. It's very strange. Anyway, the 48-year-old makes between 200,000 to 300,000 Malawian kwacha. That's around $194 to $291 monthly, while his wife, Empress, supplements the family's income by selling secondhand clothes. I felt oppressed, Nansolo said, as he recalled the staff of a state-run secondary school in Zomba, southern Malawi, refusing to register Ishmael because of his hair. Nansolo said he contacted an officer at the Ministry of Education who advised him to cut his son's hair so that he could go to school. Nansolo found himself caught up in the discriminatory policies of Malawian public schools and decided to take legal action against the Ministry of Education along with a group of parents. I went to the Women Lawyers Association of Malawi to ask for help. The association accepted and we went to court in November of 2017, he said. Temporary relief for 3 years. Ishmael, then 15, would remain out of school as the court case dragged on. Then in 2020, the Malawi High Court placed an interim order compelling public schools to enroll Ishmael and other Rastafari children until a final ruling was reached. It was a legal victory that marked a significant milestone for the estimated 15,000 Rastafari community in Malawi, according to Nansolo, who is also a community elder. However, the temporary relief did not address the broader issue of discrimination that around 1,200 affected students face, their lawyer Chikondi Chijozi told CNN. We saw a number of Rastafari children being admitted into government schools, but there were still reported cases of children of the Rastafari community being denied admission into government schools, and their parents were forced to take the court injunction to the school to compel them to admit them, Chijozi said. After 6 years, a 6-year legal challenge, the Malawian High Court delivered a landmark ruling on May 8th. The court ruled that it was unlawful to require learners, including Rastafarian kids, to cut their hair before they enrolled in public schools. The ruling came into immediate effect, but the government has until June 30th to issue a nationwide statement mandating acceptance of all dreadlocked children into school. Chijoki told CNN, "We got a judgment from the court which essentially upheld the rights of the Rastafari children and abolished the policy that requires all learners, including Rastafari children, to cut off their dreadlocks for them to be admitted into government schools." Nansolo expressed his community's jubilation that their children could now finally continue their education. The judgment means that we are now free because most of us in the Rastafarian community don't earn much. So we couldn't manage to send our children to private schools, Nansolo said. We are happy seeing that our children will now be going to public schools without being sent back or denied their right to education. CNN has contacted the Education Ministry for comment on the ruling. Despite this victory, Malawi's Rastafarian community still faces numerous challenges. Unemployment, poverty, and corporate discrimination persistently plague the community. Data on the community is hard to come by, but the U.S. State Department says around 5.6% of Malawi's nearly 21 million population is formed of other religions, including Hindus, Baha'is, Rastafarians, Jews, and Sikhs. Most of us rely on business to survive. Lack of jobs is a big challenge for the Rastafarian community because those in offices are reluctant to employ Rastas, Nansolo said. The corporate world feels that being Rastafari is associated with criminality, but we are not like that. And see, I want to make this clear because people don't understand this, whether we're talking about Africa, right, or we're talking about, let's say, I don't know, one of the islands in the Caribbean. The problem with us in the North, right, North America, let's say, we don't understand that as long as all of this hate and stereotyping is happening in countries that are predominantly Black, like those countries in Africa or in the Caribbean, right, we're going to have, of course, these stereotypes persisting all over the world, all over North America. And why would they not? If they persist in countries that are literally, we are the majority, why would they not persist in countries where we're the far minority? So this is a victory for the people of Malawi. You know, hopefully it will be a victory in other countries in Africa as well that have been suffering from this type of discrimination. But hopefully those of us who are not there, hopefully we will amplify these messages and amplify these voices and amplify these victories and celebrate with them, because the more victories that are happening where we are the majority demographic, the more victories we're going to be able to have elsewhere, like in North America. And so for me, somebody who literally found the magic of Locs and cannot wait for my children also to be locked up and have a completely different life than I had. Never touch the creamy crack, ever, ever, never touch the weaves and all of that fake foolishness, silky, Remy, whatever. They won't even know what it is. I can't wait for that. But I don't want my children to be limited and stereotyped and held back because of ancient, outdated stereotypes and biases against hair that naturally grows out of our head. And yes, this happens not just in Africa, because I've 1,000% seen it in Jamaica and with Jamaicans and with other people, other Christian nations. They have an issue with the Rastafarian religion and anything associated with it, including Locs. But look at this beautiful, perfectly respectable family. And tell me what's wrong with Locs? Nothing? Exactly. So happy for this family, so happy for the people of Malawi, and hopefully we can continue on this progress around the world.
And I might not get to the finish line with you, but I will continue to strive to carve out my own space before passing this baton on to a new generation of runners, confident in victory because success, it runs in my race.
Just amazing that globally, our hair is criminalized. And I don't know, I never would have thought in Africa, they were fighting, like, that's like the motherland. I knew that we were fighting this battle in Jamaica and in the islands and stuff because we're descendants of slaves, right? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, Africa, no way would we have to fight to legitimize our own hair that grows out of our head. What do you think, Sal?
We did the story. Y'all can go back and watch it if you wasn't here, where we talked about France owns like 14 African countries, and that whenever they're in trouble, they do it. France not the only one. So their influence and culture will go everywhere. It will be looked at the same way, and people will perceive it a certain way. Like, oh, this is not how you're supposed to look. Oh, this is not how you're supposed to feel. This is beauty. Your beauty standards is this and that. Your beauty standard is, like Ruby said, silk hair, get the weave, do all that stuff. Look as Western as you can. And by the way, it's not just black people. You go to Korea. When I went to Korea, Japan don't have this problem as much. Korea specifically, they try to look as white as they can. Like, if you watch K-pop, they literally either try to look like Michael Jackson. Some of them try to look like Bruno Mars. That's acceptable. And the rest is completely white people. They do like Kirk Franklin. It's very interesting. They are like, you a basketball player, you a singer, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Well, I will disagree with you, though, to say that it absolutely is happening in Japan, because I am positive I've heard just DeAndre talk about this, and he lives in Japan, and talk about some of these struggles that, like, say he sees, the perceptions, right? Because it just generally, this is what it is in Asia. I mean, there are commercials across Asia about, skin bleaching. Skin bleaching is so normal and natural because
that's
even
Tokyo, they do that. Don't mean to.
It's not just Tokyo, because he doesn't live in Tokyo, and he's lived there for like 20 something years. Like, he has multiple children and a wife. So yeah, no, it
might be changing. I don't know. They've been more acceptable to the West lately. So
yeah, but there's a difference between you thinking a black person or other people are okay and your beauty standards for your demographic of people. And so even though Japanese people are actually not white skinned like that, they bleach their skin, right? Because they still are under that thing, the white is right, closer to white. So there actually is still those exact same things. Same thing with the body makeup and stuff like that. So like, and I wish we could have just DeAndre here. Maybe we could talk about it one day. Because he's talking about like his wife, who is half Japanese, the struggles that she had because she doesn't fit into, their little cookie cutter box of what's attractive. So actually, no, it is a lot more pervasive than people think. It's like everywhere in Asia. It's the same thing in not just like, like Asia, like, we're talking about Tokyo, Japan, China, stuff like that, right? But also, when we're talking about India and Pakistan and whatever, right? You think about the undesirables, that predominantly has to do with skin tone, right? And the caste system is very heavily connected to skin tone. So you're right, it is all over, but I'm concerned about us. And, you know, so that's why I'm saying, like, listen, we as a demographic, yeah, I'm not always about diaspora stuff, but I do think we need to fight this battle, because when we're supporting and fighting those battles in these majority Black places, that's what's going to help us be able to come here where we're, you know, 13% in America, 3% here in Canada, right? That's going to help us be able to say, hey, of course we're normalized, of course, whatever. But when they look at our Black countries and our Black countries hate our hair, yeah, it kind of like, you know, allows them to justify their stereotyping of us. So yeah.
Let's lighten the load a little bit. Let's get my boy done teasing. I know he got jokes, and I know everybody has jokes in chat. So let's do something funny. Let's let y'all laugh for a minute.
All right.
You're attacking your mind. Nigga, it's me. I'm him. I'm not them. I'm him Jones. I'm him Duncan. I will beat a nigga ass and stomp him in my Timberlands.
Look, quick here for you, just to make you laugh, because I know things are funny. Listen. I need a haircut, I know. This would be a perfect time for an ad, but we don't have one. So let's go talk about someone who probably is the biggest ad for Hotpocket I've ever seen. This man, 64-year-old man, allegedly shot his roommate for eating his last Hot Pocket. Where he shot him is funny, and I understand. You have a roommate. I don't know, a 64-year-old man with a roommate might not be the most successful dude. You might need to be wary of him. You have a red flag, the fact that he's a 64-year-old and he needs a roommate. Not a wife, not his son, not family, his roommate. 64-year-old man with a roommate eating a Hot Pocket is a red flag in the first place. But to shoot a man over? Listen, I have been hungry. I have been upset when my roommates in college, or even a little bit after college, when they would eat the last thing. I had a beautiful bowl of what did I make? Let's see, what did I make? It was a hamburger helper I made myself. It was one of the good ones. The one I couldn't even remember what I made. And I had him, this dude just came in and just ate, like, I thought that was just enough for us. And then I got me a refrigerator and put it in my own room. Kid credit playing, all my roommates remember, they remember that. I got my own refrigerator. We learned all this. I didn't go shoot him. Let's go break down this story. This man is a living Hot Pocket that's so good that you have to. A Kentucky man is behind bars after authorities claim he shot his roommate after the victim ate his last Hot Pocket in his own. According to multiple sources, Clifton E. Williams, 64, of Louisville, was arrested Sunday. One count of assault of shooting that wounded his roommate during an alleged argument over the microwavable food item. Yo, roommate, just say, bro, if you're gonna pull out a gun, I'll get you another Hot Pocket. We can settle this. We don't have to go to shooting. I'm just saying, these thugs are out of control. 64-year-old thug out here. George Soros and Antifa. According to WLKY, police said Williams became upset when he learned his roommate had apparently eaten the last Hot Pocket and allegedly started throwing towels at him. Is he towels? I think I mean towels. I don't think he threw whole towels at people. Towels are heavy. He probably had the right to, you know what I'm saying? The roommate reportedly tried to leave, but that's when Williams allegedly went back inside the shared home, grabbed a gun, and shot the victim in his rear end. In his, for you that don't know, we very family friendly. We family friendly. So I'm not gonna. Some of this is deep, but kids need to learn. But I'm not gonna just put in gear. Arrest paper obtained by WLK State. The roommate told investigators he sought help a few blocks away. Fox 19 reports. According to WPSD, police saying the unidentified victim was taken to the University of Louisville Hospital, where he was treated for a non-life-threatening surgery. Williams, who was arraigned on assault charges Monday, was ordered to have no contact with his roommate and to not possess any firearms or other weapons. Williams will be reportedly expected to be back in court May 30th. We don't know if he's going to end up plea. or he's gonna plead no guilty. Listen. Don't eat the last food. You get shot in the ass when you get, it was always a meme. Like in front, I'm gonna shoot you in your ass if you do that. I'm gonna shoot you in the. This man really did it. This red flag man right here. This red flag individual. This man right here. This dude. Right there. 64-year-old roommate, do not eat his Hotpocket. This is a 64-year-old man with no family. This is where a lot of y'all are going if you listen to the internet. You don't want, and I'm not talking about one side. I'm talking about multiple sides. This dude is he's your end game. He's your Thanos. And he will Thanos snap a bullet right into y'all. I appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe, all that notifications. Ruby, you ever shot somebody in the ass for the last Hotpocket? Y'all in chat too. Let me know. Have you shot somebody for the last Hotpocket? Have you ever done it? Have you ever shot somebody for the last Hotpocket?
Naturally, of course I have. Like literally at least once a week, I gotta shoot Mr. Rube because he decides to put his filthy hands all over my corn pop. It's not a Hot Pocket. It was corn pops. It's close. But yeah, no. I mean, here's the thing though. I'm all right with that. Because it's not yours. And people need to stop playing with other people's food. Real talk. Like, I don't know why everyone takes everything as a joke. It's not a joke, man. Listen, you ever, like, I've had this happen, right? Where it's like you've sat there. You know, I actually know who's had this happen to themselves a lot? Probably every mother on the planet, certainly mine. Because my mom would bring home food. And then if she put that food in the fridge, I assumed it was mine. Or at least I had access to it. Unless she specifically told me I could not eat that food, I assume it's mine. Meanwhile, she would sit there and be planning her nice little lunch for work tomorrow from this place and da-da-da, and she thought it was going to be great. And then her evil little child had eaten it in the middle of the night. So now she just got to eat like bread because there's nothing else. Like I'd not even like I would replace it with something, right? Because children are selfish. But I understand, right? Because like now I understand it. Now that it's happened to me, I'm like, oh wow, that's terrible. Because you set your entire life around how delicious that's gonna be. You're looking forward to it. You've saved it, right? And then worse, when it's like it's just a roommate situation. So there's no legitimate reason why your Hot Pocket should be gone. There's none. At least if you have kids or a spouse or something, it can happen, right? And you got to kind of psychologically prepare for that and whatever. But a roommate, bruh, you know you didn't buy them Hot Pockets. They're not yours. It's not yours. You shouldn't have touched it. You got exactly what you deserve. You're lucky you survived. I hope you lost the butt cheek, okay? Not even just you got shot in. I hope you lost it. So you have a reminder forever. Don't touch people's food. Okay. I'm just saying.
Listen. 64-year-old roommate man with a roommate, he must thought he was sweet. That's all I can do. He must thought he was sweet. Oh, he ain't gonna do nothing if I do this. And he learned his lesson. Now he was in the hospital with a second hole in it.
Just saying. I mean, y'all listen, y'all need to stop playing with people's food. That's all I'm saying. And y'all need to stop taking things that are not yours. That's just what it comes down to. I don't know why communication's so hard in the 21st century, but just like speak to people. It's like, ooh, it's here. I want to eat it right now. Bruh, no. Y'all are crazy. That's all I'm saying. Y'all are crazy. But you know what? I'm just saying, I kind of understand because this generation was raised on what? The talk show. Like say, I don't know, Jerry Springer. And when, that happens, people get used to a fair amount of ain't-ishness, shall we say. And so, yeah, that's probably why we have this next story coming up. Let's take a look at this Jerry Springer story. By now, I'm sure you've heard of the tragic passing of Jerry Springer. right? Former mayor turned talk show host turned trauma peddler, some people would say. However, whether you loved him or hated him, Jerry Springer definitely made his mark. Some people argued, in fact, that he made his mark by using, right, the pain, the suffering, the denigration of the Black community. So a lot of people were, let's be real, overjoyed when they heard the following news following Jerry's passing. Now, this was a user submission, and I do very much want to thank, and I don't want to call it the name because it kind of looks like it's a government name, and I'm not sure if you want me to call it your name or not, so I'm just going to say your initials. Shout out to and thank you so much, KD. Okay. In the future, if you could just let me know what name you would like to be credited, you know, if it's like your YouTube name or you know, the government name is fine as well. I just wasn't sure if you wanted me to be calling that out and stuff online. So instead, I'm just going to give the initials. Shout out to Katie. Thank you so much for your submission. Now, most people have heard of this by now. If you haven't, listen, guys, tune in. I have got a whole series of information for y'all. Okay. But you can see here, there's a tweet here and it says the best Jerry Springer episode ever is Jerry reading his own will. He has two Black children out of wedlock. Wife threatens to expose, so he keeps it under wraps until he dies, then leaves all the money to the children he never met. What a legend, right? So in some ways, people thought that this was kind of like Jerry's making it back up to the community, you know, this is why he was always interested and, you know, had so many Black people on his show and whatever. It's not that he was using Black people. He loved Black people so much he created Black children. It was a whole thing. Okay. There was so much drama all over Twitter, YouTube, various social media outlets over this. I'm going to show you guys the video. Then I got more for you.
I'm not ready for this.
Okay. It's recording. Goodness, I got nervous all of a sudden. I can stop it. No, keep rolling. I can't be more nervous than my girls will be when they watch this, so... Oh, girls, I thought I'd know what to say by now, but the truth is, I don't. If I know anything, I know you two've been fighting. Probably moments before you hit play, but... Seriously, girls, if you're watching this, then I know that I've been the cause of more than a few fights recently. Megan, look at me, sweetie. Jordan, Megan, I know I wasn't the best father, not even the best example of a man for the two of you, and there's nothing I can do now to change that. I know that. Mm-hmm. But I do want to try to make right what I can. John and Misha, I know you don't know me, but I hope by the end of this, you'll know why I did what I did and why I've done what I've done. Where do I even begin? Well, first off, I know you've been wondering why your mother has been left out of all this. The reality is, this is what she wanted. And I don't know what all she shared with you, but I hope you're open to hearing me. And believing me when I say she chose this. Well, really, I put her in an awful position, and then she did the same to me.
Sounds fair so far. It seems like
shortly
Jerry's
after you were born, Jordan, I met and
right.
fell in love with another woman. And I had a child with her a year later. This was obviously very painful for your mother. It was painful for me. I found myself feeling things I'd never felt for someone I would have never imagined. It was confusing and complicated. And I shared all this with your mother. She tried forgiving me, but she just couldn't do it. More than forgiving me, Joan couldn't bear the shame of divorce or outside children. So she forbade me from seeing that woman and our child again. And I did what she told me for as long as I could. But no matter how hard I tried, I could not stay away from Melinda. John, Misha, I am so... There's nothing. I loved your
Look at their faces.
John Misha, I did a terrible, terrible thing. For terrible reasons.
My mom's name is Belinda.
I let fear and ignorance and quite honestly hatred keep me away from you and your beautiful, beautiful mother. And I've spent the last 26 years in complete and crippling shame. And it is still a drop in the bucket of the immeasurable amount of pain I have caused each of you. My wife learned of your arrival.
Right, now we'll link the video when we release the pre-record if you want to watch the whole thing, right? But I mean, oh my God, imagine, right? Just imagine the irony of it all. Imagine like Jerry's final show is his own life, right? And, like even after death, this man is hosting another Jerry Springer episode. I mean, people were all over this like white on rice. Oh my gosh. Now, y'all, if you really, really were enjoying that delicious little Jerry Springer tidbit, I hate to break it to you, but it just wasn't true. And yes, there has always been facts. There's always been receipts proving that this was never Jerry Springer's life. But let's take a listen.
Hello, everyone. I am the creator of the somewhat viral Jerry Springer video at this point. It was a play. It was a play back in 2020. I am an alumni from Tulane University, and we did a festival of virtual plays called Reframed, which was reframing the narrative with Black writers and actors, and it was doing a lot of great things. And so we needed somebody to play this character, and so we reached out to different people, and somehow we reached out to Jerry, and he was like, "Yes, I'd love to do it." He wanted to be a part of it, and so he did it. And so me posting it was my tribute to it, which is when I say that time when the people, my TikTok account is very small. Like I've had like maybe, I don't even know if I've had 30 followers. I don't care. I don't look at stuff like that. My TikTok account is just for me to post. I do music and stuff like that. It's just for me to.
So this video, and he's about to tell you, this video has been online for years. They did this play back in 2020, right? He's not a big creator. It just never got picked up. So no one really noticed it. So when he reposted it, right after Jerry's death, then all of a sudden, since, everything Jerry has now become relevant because he died, then people are seeing it like it's, for the first time. But this is just a repost of something he's had on his little account since 2020, right? So it's amazing. But let's keep listening.
Keep, to say, post something so that when you look back, one day after you're better and maybe you do something, you'll at least, try. But when I say that, it's the same people that's on my Facebook and my Instagram, and they for the most part know what I'm talking about, and so it's family. I'm from a very small town in Louisiana. Like I'm not from some city and all that. Like I'm from a very small town. It's the same people who are on my platforms, and so I'm just here to provide some clarity. It was a play. This is not what happened really. Now, I put it in the comments immediately on the first video when it was like 8 comments. I was surprised at 8. Like I barely get, but as I'm saying, it was a play. Please stop spreading. And to those people out there who think that there's a true conspiracy, who've been trying to block the videos, well, yes, I have posted the links to part 1 and part 2 of the whole video that we did back in 2020. But to those people who are trying to report me and other people who are trying to spread the truth, y'all are ridiculous. Like, what in the world? Why are you trying to? It's not a conspiracy. It somehow, they just fell together like that. Like, Lori Parquette just happened to.
Like, imagine, I want y'all to think about this. Imagine. So he's the one who originally posted the video. Okay. It's been on his channel for years. Himself, the actors in the video, people who knew were trying to dispel the rumors that this was true. Right? That this was like a real thing in Jerry's life. He was just a play. And then like people don't want to accept that. They do not. They are so attached to this idea that Jerry secretly was in love with this black woman who's over there and had these secret love children. And that's why he was attached to this whole Jerry Springer ideal and why he had to do the, all this drama because he was really secretly in the same kind of drama. Like people were so attached to it that when they were being informed of the truth, they did not want to let it go, even being shown irrefutable proof that this has been up for years and that it's not true. This is not a will reading. This is not posthumous. Like, none of this is true. And they just did not want to accept it. It's amazing.
To write something that was really nice and neat during the time, and he just lended himself to it. It was like an interesting person to be playing that character, and I mean, it was on YouTube back then, and we talked and posted about it back then. I guess y'all just didn't care then, you know. And so when he recently passed, I was like, wow, to be in a play with him, like, right.
Joan kept me away from you with the threat of exposure. She did not keep me from providing for you. You see, I told her that if I had to accept a life without you, she would not get a red cent of my fortune, and that you would be named equally in my will in the event of my passing. But with everything going on in the world right now, I realize that I have to go a step further. Jordan, Megan, I leave our home here in New Orleans to you to do with whatever you want. The rest of my estate, my properties in Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, my bank accounts, investment portfolios, all liquid and intangible assets, everything, all of it will go to my children, John and Misha. Girls, all your life I've been telling you to make your millions, and I hope you have. If not, you can always sell the house and split the profit. But my entire estate.
Right, and so like I understand the impulse. You really want to buy into it, right? Because I mean, wow, how amazing would it be that someone with the estate of Jerry Springer is in essence spiting his wife and children for, you know, his black child, or black children who were kind of like left behind. And it was never that he was ashamed. It was this woman and et cetera, et cetera. And it's never that he was ashamed. It was all about this woman, his wife, that, you know, like he literally was trying to do the best he could. But like, if it was up to him, he would have claimed his black children, right? So, I mean, overall, I understand the impulse. I understand that the desire. I know why people want to buy into this. I totally get it, but it's not true. Okay, guys, it is official. It's not true. If Jerry Springer's got a drama coming up, I don't know. It is yet to be uncovered, but this certainly isn't it. I swear to God, he did such a good job, right? That I honestly think that he has 2 daughters. Like Neek just updated in the chat. She's like, oh, he only has 1 daughter. I don't believe that. I believe he had to have been drawing from something true for him to have come off so true, man. He fooled me good. Like this whole thing, I know that wasn't the point, right? Like, you know, because obviously he did this like in 2020 and whatever, didn't think he was going to die in a few years or whatever. But man, did he get you? Were you convinced? Did you believe it, Zell, or did you think at the beginning like, nah, I don't believe this?
I'm not gonna lie. For most of it, I did until the end part, because it got real weird when he said he gave it to all of them, and the second girl basically did a smile and then she went back into character. Cause that's why she covered her mouth too. She smiled and then she's like, yeah. And then she did the eye thing. I'm like, that's odd. Why would she do that? That is strange. But I'm not 90% of it. Jerry Springer sold me though. He doing it. So if that second girl didn't do a smirk, because my friends always say they'll notice every little weird detail that nobody else paid attention. But I noticed the smirk, and I'm like, that's odd. Other than that, everybody else, all the other people sold that. The John, everybody, whatever they real name it, they all sold it. They did a great job. The second girl kind of.
Right. And like the subconscious wish fulfillment of it all, right? Like, you know, people who always give like Jerry Springer, there's certain people we've given like black status to, right? We've given a black card to, even though they're not black. Clinton's one, Jerry's another. So I think there's people, and there's going to be some people who think that this is true till the end of time. Oh yeah, you know what, Nick? I remember that. Yeah, he did have a disabled child. I didn't think that was his only child. I thought he had multiple, but like, yeah, I do remember that now that you said that. But I think people are going to start coming out the woodwork, shall we say, to keep perpetuating this, kind of keep the spirit of Jerry Springer alive, which I do like. I think Jerry would definitely get a kick out of all of this, people really believing this, and it's his last hurrah, shall we say, him hosting his last show, and it's his life, kind of. I think he would definitely get a kick out of that. So I'm glad that, even this is probably the craziest celebrity rumor, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I think it's like one that would be very appreciated by the celebrity. So
fun story. Then we're gonna get to the next story that's gonna bring down the mood because we've been in a good mood, but this one gonna bring down, and it's gonna make y'all think, and I want to know y'all opinions in the comment. But my best friend, actually, one of my roommate, actually got us try to get us on Jerry Springer, where I was gonna fight him over his girlfriend, and then and for some reason I was supposed to be the dude that was gonna be like, oh, he cheating on him with him, and I'm like, I'm not doing that on TV. Are you wild? I'm not gonna look like you just. My roommate is beating my girl on TV. Are you crazy? So we end up not doing it because I'm not. And all they did was offer to pay for we'll fly you out here, fly you back, give you $100. I'm not finna look like that on TV for $100. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do that for $100. $100, no. Room and board, get $100, go back home to college. No, it's my college roommate.
I so would have done it. I'm just saying.
Hey, my roommate beat no. I'm gonna get mad and fight him off the street that people said it. Just man, we go back to college campus, everybody see us together, and they be like, you still doing that? You still with your boy? Nah.
Like, they know that you're not married with 4 kids. Like, you clearly, if you're on campus, everyone who knows you knows that it clearly wasn't true. Do you know what I mean? So why not? It would be fun, work on your acting chops. Who knows? You might have gotten this whole spin-off show or something.
What's that guy name? I forgot his name. Steve Wilkes, the bodyguard, got a spin off.
Wilkos, yeah.
I could have been Bad Baby first and saved everybody.
You see? Right? Now y'all are thinking. Next time you get an opportunity like that, Zell, don't turn it down.
I'm gonna be the new Sneeko.
Exactly.
All right, time to bring the mood down after we laugh. But I want y'all thoughts on this. This is a serious story, and America, y'all gonna have to give an answer because I don't know what it is. Listen, when they tell you that people will get desperate if you tell them they don't have the right to do the abortion word, people will still do it. One of the most dangerous things when you stop giving abortion care is that people who don't really want kids will do heinous things to get rid of kids. From falling down steps to getting punched to having doors run into them to trying to get injured. Some will try to get paid through it. The world is very dangerous. I just want y'all to understand that people will do whatever it takes to get rid of whatever problem they deem to have. I don't see a child as a problem. When people ask me am I pro-choice or pro-life, it's an interesting question. Why? Because in the context of words, I am very pro-choice. For me personally, I'm pro-life. But I don't really care what people do. Because I'd rather not this happen, right? I'd rather this young lady not go to jail for throwing her child into a trash can. I prefer not to. If the baby's gonna perish, I'd rather it perish safely. And that a 19-year-old girl can live her life. Even if I disagree with her and thinking she should take care of the child she conceived, even if I thought that, I still don't want it to end up in this situation. A child lost their life and another basically child. I know some of y'all like to pretend, oh, Ja Morant is a child, Sneeko is a child. That girl is 4 years younger than both of them. And now she's going to jail most likely. 19-year-old New Mexico mother admits to tossing newborn into the hospital can. He was charged last week for first degree. This is where my conflict come in. This is where my fence sitting sits. This is where I have issues and can't think. Let's read more of the full story here. A New Mexico teenager admitted to giving birth in a hospital bathroom and hiding the baby inside of a trash can, where it was later found dead. recently released police body camera footage. Alexi, I don't want to say that, was charged last week with first-degree murder. I put it on the screen. And alternatively abusing a child resulting in tampering. She delivered her baby boy at Artesia General Hospital on January 27th. I'm sorry it came out of me and I didn't know what to do. Treviso said immediately after the doctor told her and her mother that they found the dead. Luxury, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth, her distraught mother said. I was scared. But telling her it was not crying or nothing. What did you do to it? Growing visible anger until the doctor stepped in to prevent her from interfering before police investigation. Treviso arrived at the hospital located roughly 80 miles from the New Mexico-Texas border earlier that day with back pain. The New Mexico officer of the medical investigator later determined that the baby died by homicide. Treviso's mother appeared shocked upon learning her daughter had gone to extreme lengths to hide her pregnancy. She hid it. She didn't want the baby. Lexi, have you watched the news about the girls who do to their babies and they go to jail? The frustrated mother yells. This is a hard discussion. And I don't have enough time to fully digest and break this down. Maybe I'll do a Zell's theory and have experts and people talk. And when we get all that stuff set up, because we just now got these two shows running. We just got the first one running real smooth, and now this one is starting to run smooth. But we will have this conversation. This is an important conversation that y'all can have in the comments too. I will join. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure Ruby will join. I'm not a mother. I can't get an abortion or anything like that. But the discussion need to be had because this young lady said I didn't know what to do. I was scared, and we know how people are now. But the discussion needs to be had. Like and subscribe. We can have that discussion. Hit the notification bell. Follow on Spotify. I know they have some comment sections that I'll have a poll in that section for this video where y'all can comment on the Spotify. I don't know if you can comment on that stuff. But please, let's have this deep conversation. Please, parents, again, the theme, have these conversations with your children. But this is sad. Back to y'all. Ruby did say in the comments, there are laws that can protect against this. I agree with Shard. It could have left him. But I think they said she had it in the bathroom, basically what I read, and then she panicked. And I'm like, again, that's parents. Parents, you gotta teach kids laws. But she didn't tell her and they didn't know, but you gotta be invested in your kid's life because did you just think she got fat all of a sudden? Like she just got big? Maybe she didn't show. It's a lot to this. Ruby, your thought?
Well, no, actually, a lot of people don't show. People think of like the giant pregnant belly as like the standard and it must happen. But if you have an anteverted uterus, that means it's tilted backwards instead of forwards. Then the baby's growing towards your spine and not towards the outside. So that would actually allow you to really not show for the large majority of the pregnancy. Then if you add in the fact that teenagers, young people, small built people tend to also have smaller babies, that would kind of account for the rest of it. And so oftentimes that's what you see in some of these crazier stories, like where people do stuff like this, or where there's that one woman who had a lot of children that she carried to term and then buried them in her like garage or backyard or whatever it was because she kept cheating on her husband. And then she would just like bury it, but no one would know she was pregnant. Like they would see her and you would see pictures like a week before she had given birth and stuff, and she'd be like in a crop top and you can't see anything. So it does happen. But the thing is that we have to remember that these kids are often hiding from their own parents. So no, if you're hiding from your parents and you don't think you're going to get support from your parents are probably going to shame you for not being a virgin or whatever it is. Then no, it would 100% make sense. Your parents aren't going to educate you. If you're talking about the Bible Belt, the parents aren't educating anyone on anything except abstinence. So what needs to happen, regardless of anything else, is since the school systems can only, in some of these Bible Belt states and whatever, they can only teach sex ed that the parents approve of, if at all. and blah, blah, blah. Well, then you need to have access to the information in, say, the school counselor's office. There needs to be access to pamphlets. There needs to be access on the school's Twitter, or I don't know, whatever it is, right? Where you let kids know about these things. This is something, for all that people are so anti-Planned Parenthood, this is one of the major things that Planned Parenthood actually does, is it informs kids of their options after the fact. In fact, it was like not even like 10% of what Planned Parenthood did was like abortions at all. The majority of what they did had a lot more to do with, education. Hey, now what else? Hey, how do we prevent you from getting pregnant to begin with? Here's how you get the pill. Here's how you get Plan B. Here's how you, you got pregnant and now what? Okay, here are the laws, including the safe haven laws in your state. That's what Planned Parenthood does. When people are outlawing these types of things, yeah, kids are going without information that you should know. Planned Parenthood saves lives, saves babies, and allows people to know, hey, drop the kid off at a fire station, drop the kid off at a hospital. I think it's like, in some cases, it's like under 2 years of age. You could drop a kid off, no questions asked, no questions. Like, you should know that. You should know that as a woman who can reproduce and carries a baby inside of you, that if you have a 6-month-old and you're like, yeah, it's too much for me, and blah, 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 that there is an option for you. You can go drop the kid, no questions asked, So yeah, I think we need to advertise this information more often.
True. Ruby got a story. I did. Char said, I'm dropping him off at the daddy's house. Shout out to Char. Ruby actually did something for BMT that he would probably like, since he in the chat saying this. So the next one might fit more of this narrative, Ruby.
Well, we'll see. I mean, listen, and again, BMT disagrees with me, but there's a difference between pure red pill ideology and whatever the heck the manosphere is doing in this current iteration. And so on Tuesday, when we had that discussion about this particular dude, okay, we didn't venture to this area, but we should have, because I already knew it in my head. Anyone who's willing to sit there and co-sign certain messages are probably people who do those things. Let's take a look, because trust me, injured dude, ooh, he got his butt handed to him by Ava and Fresh today. Yes, he did.
In 4 years, you've been hanging in these YouTube streets. Congratulations, you just earned your bachelor's degree. You wanna clap them cheeks? You wanna clap them cheeks?
Now, y'all, I wanted to get a jump on this right away. So I'm actually filming this the day that we are recording, like literally like an hour away from it. It's crazy. But the reason why I'm doing that is because I really want to get a jump on this, because we just did a live stream earlier this week where we had a full discussion about the goings on the Whatever podcast, when they were talking about the whole concept of abuse and endure, right? And we didn't get into this part, but it's very true. The people who tend to not see, say, cheating as a big deal tend to be cheaters, right? People who don't see abuse as a big deal tend to be abusers. I mean, that is kind of like, it's a common sense thing. If you think about it, right? People are going to try to, in a way, minimize their own faults and their own behaviors, right? They're not owning them, but it's like a psychological thing that happens sometimes. And so I'm not super surprised by this update, but shout out to Abba and Preach, because the video they came out with today was a doozy.
And goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20. A year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. Even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
it is.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going. You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive?
You got to endure. People are too...
You want to stick in the relationship?
People are just... I mean, look, people nowadays are just...
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay, endure.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you
what. It is such an...
Now, I want y'all to just remember what he said. Okay. And if you're wondering when I say him, I mean this gentleman, the one who started off with the injure and people are P words and whatever, right? Okay, cool.
After the last video, I just got people sending me everything. What did you say?
I punched a Latina bitch in the face at Rakon. What's Rakon?
It's a club in Japan. He lives over there. He was talking shit to some guy. I guess people just linking the group chats. He was talking shit to some guy, and the guy said to him, well, at least I've never been arrested for glassing a bitch. And he's like, yo, why are you so sensitive? Are you going to leave next? So that's the MLD saying, like, why are you so sensitive? Why are you bringing that up? And the guy says, I'm not sensitive, just giving back some. And then MLD says, you act like that's the last bitch I'll smite on this planet.
Bruh.
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah. I think it's very bizarre that someone accuses or says that you bottled a woman in the face, and your response is, that didn't happen. Your response is, are you being sensitive right now? Why are you bringing this up? Then it makes me really think you did do that shit. Also, how would you kill this for being so disgusting? Personally, I think a good old-fashioned bludgeoning is the way to go. Big old monkey wrench to the head. And then he posts her picture in the group chat.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. He's guilty.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life.
Time to beat Aya. I'm gonna beat Aya for
He
not.
doesn't want traumatized women in his life. He's the one traumatizing the women in his life. Obviously.
Being pretty enough. Have to beat Aya for letting this happen.
And I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman.
I will glass a bitch with a champagne bottle for the honor of the group. If this happens, I'll have so much fucking money. I'm gonna glass like 17 bitches. Now, mind you, everything here I've been sent screen recordings for, so none of it is like edited photos. So this is him contacting somebody else about the incident in Japan. He goes, and you can see the video as he's scrolling. He says, hey, sorry to bother you about this. This guy attacked an innocent girl in Roppongi, and the police found him. I heard he did something to you. Is that true? And the woman in question, who's Japanese, she goes, yes, true. What him make for the girl? Which I think is her broken English. Yeah, I know he's a real scumbag. Is it true that he punched you in your face? And she says, yes. What happened with the other girl? And he says, are you sure it's definitely this guy? To which she replies, yes. And so a couple other people from Japan contacted me and said that this guy was charged for bottling a woman in the face after she rejected him at a club. This went to court. He settled out of court. The woman has a scar across her face. She didn't want to come forward and bring this up, nor does she want to be involved because she's been traumatized by the experience since.
I know.
And people sent me messages to people that know her and people know of the incident, and all these are real. I made sure they sent me videos to show me they didn't fake no fucking DMs.
Wow.
And that was like a club in Japan?
Yeah, and he's also being charged for somebody else in Japan. So why am I bringing all this up? Listen, group chats are your business. Personally, I've never been in a group chat where folks brag about punching women in the face or take joy in talking about how they want to kill somebody that they saw on Bumble because they're ugly, okay? But when this guy is getting on podcasts talking about he wants a well-adjusted, normal woman who's not traumatized, I'm like, brother, do you hear yourself?
And like, see, this is the thing, right? Listen to the mentality. These are the people that these spaces are elevating to leadership status. These are the people, okay? This is a problem. When you've got a man, and I use the term like loosely, right? But when you've got a man that is proud of himself for smiting bitches, okay? And he's doing this, bottling a girl in the face, smashing glass in her face, trying to destroy her beauty forever. Okay? When you've got a guy doing that and the sin this woman committed was turning him down in a club in Japan. Really? This is red pill, right? This is alpha, right? This is alpha? This dude has such a low self-esteem and such a low self-concept. Okay? And on top of that, you can tell he started from the bottom, now he here. Because obviously he's one of those idiots who believes the hype that, hey, You just go to one of these countries, and the women, they'll just submit to you because you're American and you've got money and they're from a collectivist culture. So they respect men there. And so therefore every woman must submit to every man who walks by. So if you just point at her and say, you, here, D, here, she'll just jump on it. It'll be great. And when that doesn't work out, you are so insecure. Your ego is so fragile that you need to destroy her beauty forever, because if you can't have it, no one will. These are the people that are being elevated. And if you're not actively speaking out against this dude, then you're complicit. If you're just turning... Right? Because this is what they do. Same thing with Andrew Tate, same thing with a lot of people. And to be fair, when Andrew Tate first came out, I was saying, hey, listen, look, BDSM can, it's supposed to look real. Right? So, yeah, but dude, there's got to be a line at some point. This guy has charges. He's been charged before. He is charged again. We elevating him because what? He figured out how to buy a suit off the rack and how to put some gel in his hair? And then just regurgitate the rhetoric just like everyone else? Y'all, this is terror. It's a scary thing when this is what's passing these days for male entertainment and for male guidance. There's no accountability. Right? Always wanting to try to two-step your way out of every situation. You never want to stand 10 toes down on anything. You think I'm kidding? Y'all heard him talking about endure. People are just P words these days, right? Y'all heard Melina's description and y'all heard what he said. Well, let's see what he said over here. Y'all think dancing, two-stepping.
Beating a woman in a relationship that he...
that she
should stay and endure the thing. That's not what I said at all. But I did say if there was one instance, because
you didn't say that at all.
Right.
And we could play the tape back. Play it.
Keep going in the relationship.
Keep going. You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive.
You got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick in the relationship.
People are just.
I mean, look.
People nowadays are just.
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
endure.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. It is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if
3 days later? Because I guess what they're trying to say is like if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship,
about physical abuse, yeah.
Right. So they're trying to say that I'm saying that if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship, that he
that she
should stay and endure the thing. That's not what I said at all.
I don't know. I thought specificity of language was like a thing with these guys and that words have meaning. So since endure means suffer something painful or difficult patiently and remain in existence last, these cities have endured through time, it would suggest to me that no, you literally meant exactly what everyone thought you meant. Especially with the word choice of endure. This is a guy who's elevated. This is an alpha. This is an example. But not only is he not super successful with the ladies, when he fails, he gets himself arrested for violently harming them.
In 4 years, you've been hanging in these YouTube streets. Congratulations, you just earned your bachelor's degree. You wanna clap them cheeks? You wanna clap them cheeks?
I mean, what else is there to say in this case? I'm going to bet any amount of money, BMT, that there's way more than two. I mean, he literally said, yo, I acted like this is the last bee I'm going to smite. He calls it smiting. Like, what does he think he is? A character in a comic book? Well, he's smiting people. He smited a woman for saying no. In a collectivist culture, so you know she said no nicely. Like, really? What do you? Were you surprised by this, Elle? Did you see this coming?
I did not. I did not see this. Actually, I kind of did. I'm not gonna lie. The dude was too into it. Endear. I'm like, what? He just said he beating a woman. She should say endear. No, this is weird. If y'all follow, like, and subscribe, all of that, because I got something Monday that's insane too. People are crazy, and this man is one of them. The way people act online now is absolutely insane. And this dude, everyone should have had a warning sign when he came out and just randomly said endear. The other guy could just be a psychopath, like autistic dude who's like, there's no such thing as divorce. The other man could just do the little Christian thing. He was the firm dude on it. You be like, oh yeah, you done knocked a few out. Everybody's pussy. You get punched, you a pussy now, Ruby.
Apparently, I mean, for wanting to walk away from it, right?
Yeah, this dude, as Danteezy said, let's go find it. Where is it? I know he said it somewhere, but he said the dude is a clown.
While you're looking for that, I'm just going to say this, because what a lot of people didn't seem to realize, right? Like the word endure means something. And this is where it's just like, whatever he's trying to say now, he's only trying to back himself out of it. Because I don't know if y'all noticed this, but the whatever podcaster, we pointed out how miserable he was, clearly, like with what was going on in his show. Brian, dude, that dude was on Destiny's channel, okay? Pretty much begging for Destiny to co-sign him as not being on these guys' side. And to not be responsible for what these dudes say, what they think, how they believe, how they whatever. That is how much Brian of the whatever podcast and his 4 million subscribers is suffering for being associated with Endure Guy. Okay, so if you can imagine that, then you can imagine what Endure Guy is currently enduring, which is to put up with something painful patiently. Well, you can't be patient for 2 seconds, right? That's not patience. Patience is over a long period of time. Melina made sure to clarify that abuse was occurring. She said, you're young, 18, 19, 20. You get married, and then they start to abusing you. What would you suggest? Abusing. That's an action over time. Like, why are we acting like, you can't even stand 10 toes down and just be like, yeah, man. Yeah, you should be able to backhand your wife whenever you want. I mean, I'd have more respect for the man, at least if he said that. But no, now he wants to two-step his way out of this one? No, sir. You in your suit fresh off the rack, you need to sit there and hold this L. That's what it is. And the manosphere, the red pill spaces, y'all need to hold this L also, because I don't understand how y'all keep elevating these losers and tools to these positions of like ultimate power up here, way above you on these plateaus and whatever. Y'all are willing to simp for all of your god daddies in these spaces, right? But then you don't want to like hold the door open for a woman, because that's really the ultimate simping. Like y'all need to open your eyes to what's really happening, because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
And guess what? We're gonna have another one next week because they keep doing it.
Yeah, lottie. I don't know, y'all. If y'all have a specific topic that y'all want us to delve into with this for our discussion topic next week, let us know. Email us. I'll be that news@gmail.com. Because I don't know, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to start talking about this more often. Maybe they've been avoiding it too much. Other people are just, going at it blindly. Maybe we need some perspective, some balanced perspective to start trying to fix this problem. I don't know. Just something else.
We're going to be on it. We're going to be on these teachers. Next week, I got this weird TikTok, man. Just to give y'all a hit. I got doctors. It's crazy. And my next one, I had to get them in. We got representatives of your government doing strange things. Let's go watch.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what? You know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Welcome to America, where of course anything goes, especially if you're rich or have a position of power where influence doesn't matter. Where you don't even have to be rich. You could be this dude right here. Look at him. Look at him. Close your mouth. That dude right there. But and you get away with anything, right? And there's no consequences. Let's see. Let me explain. Y'all don't believe me. I'm gonna explain because me saying it ain't gonna work enough.
Camera video shows City Councilman Matthew Riley passed out cold in his car Monday afternoon.
No, he might be tired. He's working. He might just be asleep. You know what I'm saying? He had a hard day. He's a congressman. He has to represent. He's a representative. He has to work hard. He probably was out late at night.
After a few shakes from police, he jolts awake.
Oh, you were literally choking in your sleep. Somebody flagged me down about it.
Oh, I have sleep apnea. I'm sorry.
Well, and then you have a crack.
Oh, this explains it. He has sleep apnea. He struggling to sleep. He's a representative. It's good. It's good.
Crack pipe in your hands.
This afternoon, Mayor Ken Hopkins joined the City Council President and the Cranston Democratic Committee in publicly calling for Riley's resignation from City Council Ward 6.
Why would they call for his resignation? Why would they call? This is a perfectly fine man. Look at this gentleman. He is well kept. Look at this. His shirt is, of course, ironed. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like he got like the issue. You saying he's a well kept man? Look at he got the shades on in the middle of the day, on top of his head in the wrong position. But it's all right. He's well kept. Why would they ask for his resignation?
I feel that's in the best interest of the city, his constituents. I also feel that personally it's in his best interest for him, for his family's privacy, and for the constituents of Ward 6.
Body camera footage shows Riley asking if he's going to be arrested.
Are there any drugs in the car or anything like that?
No, nothing.
And
Wait, why did he shake that? He did a little hand thing when you put your hand like, oh no, it's nothing in there, sir, Mr. Officer. There's nothing there. Don't look in it, please.
Apparent lie. According to the police report,
oh my God,
officers say they found crack laced with fentanyl along with other drug paraphernalia while searching his car.
I think there's a little bit of fentanyl in there.
Yeah, all right.
Riley.
Crack mixed with fentanyl? Play the fake Whitney Houston. What is crack? Crack is, yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, crack is wet.
Riley telling
laced with fentanyl. So you've been whacker.
Police.
It was a relapse. I've been clean for 13 years.
He had a relapse. He was clean for 13 years. He had a relapse. I don't crack all day. Somehow I knew how to add fentanyl. In it. I relapsed. Yo, black people don't even get this much credit and credence. They probably won't even show this on the news. I'm just being honest. But he's that. And of course he's got a position of power, so they gotta make him look a little better. Makes the state and the city look bad.
Just went through a really, really bad divorce recently.
Now he's going through the judicial.
That's in the video. But stay off crack. Crack is whack. And this is America. Your congressmen and senators and all of them can do whatever. Back to y'all. I ain't even got nothing to say. Y'all see it. Listen here. Doing crack in the middle of the day, falling asleep on the side of the road with your mouth open is insane. Like, I don't know, he's the worst crackhead I've ever seen. Don't rich people supposed to do crack and they like high rise at the top of it and just go to sleep there and then come down when they all right? This man did it on the side of the street. Maybe he ain't rich enough, bro. Maybe he ain't rich enough to just do it.
See, I wanted to look that up and I was trying to look it up. I wasn't fast enough. Obviously, I got caught. But no, you know why? Because what I've noticed is that, I mean, other than the fact that crack is whack, but I also noticed that crack seems to affect different people differently. Okay, because there's some folk that are functional crackheads. I swear to God, Canada is covered in functional white crackheads. That's what it is. I'm telling you, they get up, they go to work, they take care of the kids. Okay, they mow their lawns. And they also do little crack, like the way other people smoke cigarettes or drink beer. I don't know. So, and then it seems like there's a whole other demographic of, let's say, white Americans who do crack. It's like, bro, they're not about that life. They can't keep functioning. Like, they literally make the worst possible decisions. As soon as they touch it, that's it. They're passed out. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just has to do with your body chemistry, and whatever. It's the same kind of addiction. Everyone's the same level of addicted, but whether or not you personally make horrible decisions and function like an idiot or not, maybe it's your DNA. Like I don't know. I don't even know.
Listen, he is representing the United States government locally, and he's on crack and fentanyl, sleep on the side of the road in the middle of the day, where people are calling because they say he looked like he's choking in the side of the car.
I'm sorry. Are you talking to me? Because I'm from the GTA, where Doug Ford, the living crackhead, was mayor forever. So no, it doesn't faze me at all. The mayor of Mississauga was a raging alcoholic. Like, I keep telling you, you're talking to me like I should be like, oh my God, this is horrible. No, that's like normal. Like, since I was a child, right? The mayor of Toronto, right? The huge hub was a crackhead. So I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. That seems normal to me, I guess. But obviously he was a functional crackhead, right? So that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between functional crackheads. We seem to have a lot of them in Canada, in politics or not. And then the way that crack seems to affect that same demographic, but in America, that seems to be the problem. Like, maybe he should try meth. Like, maybe he'd be more functional. I don't know. No, joking. So try meth. Bye.
My Danteezy said, I bet the corner of his mouth had that self-rising flour in it.
What did he say? The what? The who? The okay.
Marshmallow pillow. Shout out to Danteezy.
No, I don't want to think about that. Things like that gross me out. Thank you. I'm good.
But we do have one more story.
Yeah.
And it's y'all favorite thing. Y'all know it's y'all favorite thing. We have a Karen story. So let's give Ruby a space to her Karen story.
Yes, let us do a Karen story. Now, y'all listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. The story I wanted to do seems to be on some kind of perpetual lockdown. So we all know I'm going to find it, and I'm going to make sure we put it out there, because Karens don't get to run away from their terrible, terrible decision making. However, in the meantime, we have this Karen. Now, I don't know what we will call her. I mean, Mother Karen? I don't know. I know her daughter. She's probably trying to raise her daughter to be just like her, but her daughter seems low-key incredibly embarrassed by her. But yeah, this is a longie but a goodie. I bet y'all can tell already which one Karen is. Although, again, the daughter is taken after the mother. So right here, we've got both of them in slippers outside in public. I guess it's better than them being in their bare feet. But I mean, really? Yeah, let's take a look. Here we go. Here goes nothing, Karen. Here goes nothing.
Making a big, like, you guys are laughing at her? Like, why are you
No,
guys laughing at her?
she came at us calling us stupid.
You are stupid.
Oh.
Mom.
You are stupid.
Hey, we were just trying to talk respectfully.
Watch me get this car towed.
Okay.
No, we were just trying to talk respectfully. I was just asking her because we're just
We're
touring
just
and
here looking at this place.
We didn't know where to park, so this is our first time. So we're new. We don't know.
Yeah, like we were just looking at this townhome,
Yes,
and that's all. And she
Like we're
started.
not trying to cause no problems.
Yeah.
Nothing.
because they're blocking my driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Let's keep going.
Hey,
little one.
Hey, we could just be respectful.
Let's keep going, little one.
Mom.
No, she thinks she's smart. She thinks she's smart.
You
think you're smart. I will
Now, for everybody trying to figure out why Karen is freaking out, because she's agreeing, right? Like, she 100% is agreeing with the very calm person filming, right? So clearly there was a slight misunderstanding. It happens between neighbors. He didn't realize that him and his car and where he's parking was a problem for Karen. you could just ask calmly and nicely, and he probably would have just did it. But no, you don't want to do that. Instead, you want to do this because why, Karen? I mean, I can never figure out what Karen's motivation is for making herself look an ass, right? But like I said, remember I said she's trying to raise the daughter to be you, but the daughter still is incredibly embarrassed by you. Let's keep watching.
Outsmart you every time, little one. Move it.
See that?
Now.
Okay, we will move it.
No, you will move it now. I am waiting.
Okay.
I am sitting here so my sick daughter.
It's okay.
Wait, hold on, did she forget where her daughter was? Because if you'll say, like, first she's pointing over there, my sick daughter, I guess that was supposed to be like into her house, and then when she forgot her daughter was on the other side of her, so she had to start pointing on the other side. And then that makes you wonder, well, how sick is the daughter? Because she's has enough energy and health to be here trying to chase you down, try to stop you from acting like an ass on camera. So I don't know how sick she is, but okay, let's keep watching.
Park in my driveway.
I know.
As long as they
Okay
move
then.
it, as long
So
as they
move it.
I know.
I'm waiting.
We're gonna move it, but
No,
but,
I'm waiting.
but
for you to
but
move
hey,
it.
hey,
I'm waiting.
we
You're
just
not
we
getting in
would
the
like
motherfucking
to,
car.
Hey, we would
You're
like
not
to not
getting
get
in the
off on the wrong
motherfucking car.
foot. We would just like to not get off on the wrong foot.
We are so getting on the wrong foot because you both think
But we didn't know
that I care about how young you are.
That has nothing to do with
That I care.
Mom, come on.
You're getting a little
And
excited.
you're lying, telling me you own this. Let me tell you something. I've been here since.
I'm just saying, like, you need to calm down.
No, don't you ever
It doesn't-
tell me to calm down. I will outsmart you
This
every
isn't
single
about
way
outsmarting.
from Adam.
Okay, they made a mistake. They told Karen to calm. You never tell Karen to calm down. That is her trigger word for, oh, you need me to go 10 times louder and more aggressive and more ridiculous? Sure. If you want that from Karen, you just tell her to calm down. Love the fact that Don TC said, well, Newport Karen. She sounds like one of them waits down a pack for breakfast and lunch and then have a sensible Virginia Slim dinner. I mean, yeah, kind of, right? Maybe. Wait, what's in her? Oh no, it's a phone in her hand. But yeah, no, she does kind of sound like that. Definitely does sound like that. I don't know, y'all. If we don't get anything else more specific to this situation, I think we've got a win. We got a winner there.
It is.
You're
because
the one
this
who's-
dude is still not getting in his motherfucking car. No, stop.
See, like,
Getting in his
like-
motherfucking car and moving it.
Mom.
Right.
Please, can you guys
Give
move the
him
car,
his
please?
keys
Please.
so he can move his car.
Guys, just move the car, please.
Yo,
Please.
she's doing it
Because
again, guys.
trust me,
She did it
you
again.
don't
Come
want
on.
me getting
Mom.
in his motherfucking car. No, in his motherfucking car and moving it.
Watch.
Mom.
Right here. Watch.
Will you please, can you guys
Give
just move
him
the car,
his
please?
keys
Please.
so he can move his car.
Guys, just move the car, please.
Yo.
Please.
Karen did it again. It's the same thing that Karen from the last video did. It's this thing. But she bends her legs and then she bounces like she dances. Bruh. Karen, come on now. See this poor daughter. She's trying so hard because she understands that her mom's life is about to be ruined, right? So even if she agrees with her mom, she knows she can't act out this way. So she's really trying. And she's saying, like, listen, I can't control my mother. She's not going to calm down. She's not going to be a reasonable person. She's not going to be an adult. She's not going to be responsible. She's not going to do it. I know my mother. Can you please fix my mother's attitude by giving her what she wants? That's in essence what the poor daughter is begging for at this point. My God.
Please move the car.
Because trust me, you don't
Come
want
on,
me getting
Mom.
more upset than this.
Okay. Well, we'll get out of your hair right now. Okay.
Oh, just do it.
Okay.
I will stand here until you do it.
But you just...
Because you know what? We're 3 minutes past the 5-minute thing.
Yeah.
We're 3 minutes past.
Right.
So you know what? This could have ended
Yeah.
8 minutes ago. But you guys want to be smartasses?
And you could be
keep
nice.
going.
And you
No,
could be
I
nice.
won't be nice.
Yeah, you could be
I
nice.
won't be nice until you move the motherfucking
Like,
car.
you're yelling, you're screaming, you're
Bro.
cussing out for
Because you
what?
won't move the car.
You
so
can't,
I can't park in my driveway.
okay.
I can't get out of my
Hold
car
on, babe.
until you move the car. So all you have to do is move it.
Okay, this one is a shout out to Kelly. Kelly, do you remember that chick who said that one time, why'd you have to smoke crack cocaine. Well, she was probably on crack as well. That's what that reminded me of. Like, now I realize something. Crack. That is the common theme of the last couple of things we watched. This woman for sure is on crack. You can't tell me and nothing else, because what she's doing is so unreasonable. It's amazing.
My bag's in your
white
car.
one.
Well, we're just
We're gonna go anyways, but
like that lady's crazy.
you guys are big.
You can say it all you want. You're fucking moving the car, ain't you?
You see? Why?
Oh my goodness. Thanks, babe.
All right, we're leaving.
Okay.
You're good. Good. And I'm giving the fucking landlord this fucking picture. Yeah, you can jump up and down all you want. You're still fucking stupid.
Ooh. Yeah, of course.
You're still fucking stupid because she's now gonna be watching for that car.
Oh, this is gonna be on TikTok.
Karen just asked if you were filming, so that way she knew for sure you're gonna record her forever, because she actually wants to be recorded. Which again goes back to my crack theory. I love what Mr. DJ Music said. Shout out to him. He said, "What's up with that nasty ass t-shirt? I guess she thinks black folk talk like that." That's what I was thinking too. Like, where is this? Every once in a while, she drops in this, like, what she thinks is a hood accent. And I'm like, really, Karen? Okay, Karen, as long as you think you're cool. Okay.
5 million views.
I'm so happy for you.
I saw people like
I'm
this on
so
TikTok. I
fucking
didn't know
happy
people like this
for
are real.
you.
Well, we're out.
No, they're real, sir. Young man, they are very real.
You guys are so sad that you have to put it on TikTok.
So
See?
sad.
All right, are you
I
guys gonna go
didn't
or
give
not?
you permission to put it on TikTok. I didn't give you permission.
And
I didn't give you
no one needs
permission
to.
to
No one
video
needs
me.
to get permission from you, Karen,
So
and Karen's daughter.
if you
Stop,
do
you're
it,
escalating the situation.
if you do
You
it, and
escalated
put
the
me on,
situation, Karen's
I'm gonna
daughter.
get arrested.
Ooh, okay. All right.
You guys, can you guys just please leave?
No, Karen Jr. This is
Okay.
whose fault?
Ooh.
Karen Jr.
Anything else?
She's mad.
Because this is
Come
a
on.
this is a public street.
I'm happy to come.
All right.
Here they are. Oh man, the white car won't move.
Oh my god.
There's no red. There's no red. There's no red on the side.
Okay, I think Bobby Wright, you have a point. You said they're messed up. Maybe I don't know. I feel like there would be just a slightly worse skin and more violence if they were messed up. I don't know though. But y'all, what I think is interesting, I didn't realize this is a semi-detached house. So that means that both of these houses in essence are sharing the same curb space, right? One has curb space here, one has curb space there, right? Now, when it comes to the garbage, she said you're blocking where she would put her garbage. Like, okay, you couldn't have put it in front of the driveway or like various other possible options. Like, I live in a semi-detached house. That's why I know what like the issue would be. So I know you're making an issue out of literally nothing. Now, Karen Jr. Karen Jr. is really training to be mommy, right? And you can see that because this stupid idiot who really wanted her mom to calm down, her mom was finally calming down and going away because she was getting her way. And what does Karen Jr. do? Karen Jr. decides to invite her mom to argue about something new by bringing it up loud enough for her mom to hear. And that's why I told you, I'm like, she's her mom in training, but she also has enough common sense to know, oh, wait, this is going to ruin our whole lives.
That says you can't park.
This is the USA, Mr. Bobby Wright.
Yeah, I have people who are
Filming
videoing
her.
her.
If you wouldn't film her, this wouldn't have happened.
I have a candidate.
Because you guys are getting
No,
crazy.
I wasn't even like that till you started filming. So you better fucking knock it off. I was respectful. I was respectful. So you better back the fuck off. Seriously, yeah. You two with your ugly
You
ass.
guys are coming at us, so
You
need
wouldn't
to calm
fucking
down.
move it after I asked you nicely.
You guys need to,
How fucking dare you? Yeah, you want to fucking.
She's videoing me.
Okay, let's just.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
illegal.
get the fuck out.
Stop. And she
You're outside.
Babe.
And she's blocking my driveway because she thinks it's funny. She thinks it's funny. So
she's blocking your driveway.
Well, the car is blocking my driveway.
That's not blocking your driveway. You have more access to your driveway.
She's putting it on TikTok because she thinks she's funny.
Did she just pose in front of the license?
Post it up in front of the Beamer.
No.
What?
No.
What, your 2005
No, I
Beamer?
can't.
Hey, 2005.
So
My
The
daughter
2005
is
Beamer,
sick,
bro.
So if they don't move, no, she don't need paramedics, but they're gonna need paramedics if they don't move.
Oh, now you're gonna make threats on the phone to the cops, Karen.
What we did was ask you to move the car, and you guys are like making a big, like you guys are laughing at her, like.
We'll see how nice and reasonable at first the Karen Jr. tries to sound. What I tell y'all, she's trying to prevent you guys from ruining her mother's life. That's all. She's exactly like her mother, exactly like her. And we saw that with them fighting words at the end. And we saw total Karen behavior when Karen's sitting there lying on the phone, trying to set everybody up. But unfortunately, since Karen's on crack, Karen forgot that she's got to pretend to be the innocent one when she calls the authorities. So making verbal threats about the fact that you are going to literally murder the people in question, who are like children in comparison to you, right? Making those verbal threats on the phone as you're calling the police on them for something that's not illegal does not help you at all. What do you think about this Karen situation, Zell? Oh, you are muted, sir.
These people are out of control. Karens need to be stopped. They think they own the world. It's the most interesting thing because I have never seen a bunch of people who think they run the world and then they realize they don't.
Shar says she cannot take all this feminine energy, and I agree with her, man. The palm-colored woman is so feminine. Like, bro, we just see it again and again and again in all these stories, how feminine they are and how us as Black women, man, we really got to try to step up our game to match Karen's feminine energy.
My biggest problem though, if a Black woman say back the they're like she mad aggressive, but then people justify her doing the same exact thing. Like,
right?
I'm just saying, hey, listen. I just want equality. That's all I want. If you criticize one,
the cracknocracy, Shara, that was a good one. I think we got to make Crack Nation, cracknocracy. Definitely, that's got to be in there. I mean, come on, y'all, come on. She does look, or you know what? We could do like a Florida segment, but like not just about Florida. It's just like people who look like they're from Florida, or people who act like they from Florida. It doesn't have to be like from Florida. It's just like when you act like you from Florida. I don't know. Y'all know I'm not clever. I try to be clever, but like I think it's a good idea. I just have to get someone smarter and cleverer than me to like name it. But yeah, no, I think because she could be our number one. I mean, everything about her and her daughter and them fuzzy slippers in public. Never mind the shirt or the behavior or the hair. Or the behavior. So yeah, no, I don't know. But y'all, I loved the Karen. I always do. But I did love the rest of the stories. They were also great as well. Shout out to Simply Unique for her first submission of our existence. And I'm sure there will be many, 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 many more. If you guys would like to submit your stories, please email us. albethatnews@gmail.com and let us know what you guys want to see us cover. Okay, if you sent us a submission, we haven't covered it yet, doesn't mean we won't. It just means we get a lot of submissions. And so we try to put together, a decent, cohesive show. We don't just go all over the place. So yeah, I don't know. I'm loving where we're going with this. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. You guys come like every week and support us. We are growing week on week. Like we have almost 50 subscribers now, y'all. Like almost 50. Like I swear to God, I can't believe. I think it was just last week we were saying we were like in the 30s, I think, right? And then now we're like at 47.
47, looking to grow it quickly. So it's coming up. So as Ruby always say, I'm gonna do her thing this week. Hey, join before we rich.
Get in on the ground floor. That's what I'm saying. Listen, get in on the ground floor. We will make you part of our team. Like one of those comedian guys. One of the really short comedian guys that doesn't, they're all short, but he's a Black man. He married, and then his friend told on him that he cheated on his wife.
Kevin Hart.
And told, what's his name?
Kevin Hart.
Yes, Kevin Hart. Okay, see, we'd be like Kevin Hart, right? So when we come up, we'll bring all of y'all up because y'all were our day ones, and we know that you liked us and supported us before the fame and the clout and the clicks and the views and the whatevers, right? So we just bring y'all up. Y'all be our posse, you know what I mean? So it's in your best interest to continue supporting us now, and also for you to subscribe, like, share us everywhere, tell everyone and their mama to come and subscribe to us and watch us as well. So that way, you know, you help us build up faster, and then you can be in our posse faster, right? Yeah, I think that's a great plan. I don't see anything wrong with the plan at all. Nothing delusional or weird about my plan. Yeah, don't criticize me. Thanks.
Yes. It was a great show. Hope y'all enjoyed it. We got a crazy one Monday. I got a crazy TikTok old man who's harassing 10-year-olds. Y'all gonna want to see this. Y'all really gonna want to see this man is. But anything else?
I don't know. I want to see that, to be honest.
Probably don't, but you kind of do, because this is what your children deal with on TikTok. But so we here to show the news. Ruby, anything else?
No, but I am going to put a poll. I know I said no, and then I'm going to tell you something else. My bad. But I'm going to put a poll on the community tab of our channel to ask you guys when you would like to see the medical like, there's a couple medical stories. They're both user submissions, but I wanted to kind of make it a standalone because it is a little bit of longer stories. So I wanted to ask you guys, hey, what time would work good for that premiere? So I would like you guys to please, after the show, I'm going to put it up there on the community tab. If you guys could just let us know what days and times works well for you based on the poll, and then that's when I'll do the premiere. Other than that, no, that's about all.
That's it. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Peace.
Cheers, y'all.